We wanted to create an art-activated walking and cycling route between Norwich Castle and the Sainsbury Centre, not to create monuments, but instead to respond to the locale with temporary art installations, performances and interventions that inform and relate to the journey. In May 2023, we staged an exploratory event with artists and audiences.
I think the art path linking the Castle Museum to the Sainsbury Centre is a fantastic idea. If you look at other cities which have done similar, it does draw people along and give people kind of moments to kind of follow towards the end destination.
I think it'd be interesting for the art path to develop in a very similar way. So it's a yearly experience, there's lots of temporary work rather than sort of concrete and steel. I think it can be work very fast on its feet in that respect, and more opportunities for artists. So more temporary work means more radical work, less challenging to health and safety and the parks. And if something's there for 6 months, it kind of like can get people thinking and they're waiting for the next one to happen.
When we were setting up, we had a few local people come by and asked what we were doing, and so we gave them the experience too. We said, oh well, we've got this sound walk happening, would you like to try it? And so some of the local residents have also found out some history about their park too. So it's been a really positive, lovely day.
I think it's going to be really interesting seeing actually how people respond to the art path, you know, how long it takes to walk and what people feel about the different pieces along the way. And, you know, I really hope it does become something in Norwich, you know, even if it's an art path that kind of changes the different points, you know, throughout different years or, you know, over time, yeah.
It's only 3 miles from the centre of Norwich to the UEA campus. This journey leads out of the medieval centre through Victorian cityscape, green spaces and parks, to the iconic 20th century architecture of the University of East Anglia and the Sainsbury Centre.
How has the art path enhanced my sense of Norwich? I think it's always important and useful when you live in a place where you're in your everyday routine to do something that breaks out of it and for a way to imagine the city differently. And it feels like this is a really great way to do that.
I found sort of on the art path having a walk around and seeing the things that you wouldn't necessarily pay attention to just in a day-to-day busy life, so it's been nice and connecting with other people. It's just really beautiful, and it's nice to have lots of people involved from different walks of life.
It's places so far that I've all been to, that I go to quite frequently, but even just being told a different route to go between them, it's quite a unique way to see the city and experience the city differently, particularly if you live here.
I think what I would like is for the art path to really arouse people's curiosity about where they are and the places that they're travelling through in a creative way. I think it will be really interesting to see what ideas come in as a result of this very temporary art path and the way in which those things are taken forward.
So when I was responding to the brief, I was considering like my own experiences of this area, but also thinking about the history of it. And I think it was really important was the kind of community element. So this space is kind of known, it feels like a little village. Everyone is really friendly. Lots of people have lived here for a long time, and I wanted to make sure that I included that element and kind of get as many different experiences and stories into the poems as possible through the city. I think it's a really nice thing. We walked this route on our workshop day, like all of the artists, and the organisers got together and we walked it. And I'd never walked from the city centre all the way to the Sainsbury Centre before, and it's not actually as far as you think it is. I think you get told that it's like really far away. But actually, if you've got time and you're going at a leisurely pace and there's lots of nice things to stop and look at on the way, then I think it's a wonderful thing. I think it'd be really nice.
When I was thinking about this brief, it talked about a bit of a pilgrimage because the path starts at the castle and is all the way to where we are now, which is UEA, and I definitely viewed it as a pilgrimage. So when I was doing some research around pilgrimages, that's what got me settled on the idea of a coin tree, because they normally appear at the site of a pilgrimage. And that can be anything from people hammering coins into a tree to people leaving like gestures. So important things to them and pottery and that kind of thing. But for me, it just made sense to do a coin tree in the context of this project.
The Norwich Art Path exists now as a walking and cycling route. We would love to hear what you think. Should there be art-related interventions as regular events? Should there be artist residencies? Or should we create an interactive map and guided tours? Get in touch and let us know.